Yo, what's going on, everybody? So today I want to have a conversation with you guys about some of the developments that we got in Boruto chapter 41, and I got to talk to anime onlys right now. So this is the part of the month where a lot of the content on the channel is going to be spoiler heavy. I am going to try and double upload, that way you guys get non-spoiler content. So I will say thank you for your support. Out of the 446 videos on this channel, over 360 of those videos are spoiler free, so I thank you for your support. But with that being said, if you're still here, I'm gonna assume that you're okay with me talking about spoilers. So as I was rereading Boruto chapter 41, you know, one thing that really stood out to me is the fact that we got this expansion on the karma seal. And what I find fascinating about this moment is that we have a weakness that's been given to the karma seal. And I want to talk to you guys about whether or not that's a good idea. Now, I touched on this briefly in the Boruto manga chapter review, but I want to kind of go a little further in depth on this one. And I gotta say, I like what Kodachi's doing here. So Kodachi is essentially leveling the playing field, because let's be real for a second, okay? The karma seal is absolutely overpowered, and when you look at the fact that the karma seal is eventually going to transform Boruto and Kawaki into perfect Atsuki clan vessels for Momoshiki and Ishiki Atsuki, this opens up the door for these characters to be absolutely unbeatable. And so when you take into consideration the fact that you have this weakness now where the karma seal can absorb all jutsu, like we were under the impression that okay, Boruto can absorb jutsu just like Momoshiki was. Well, the difference is it can only absorb jutsu that is created purely off of chakra. If you get to the moment where somebody uses, say, the earth in order to use an earth style jutsu, or they use existing fire flames in order to enhance their own fire style jutsu, that's something that the karma seal cannot absorb. And I think that's a good idea, because when I say this levels the playing field, it gives you a way to essentially combat somebody that has the karma seal, because without that type of a loophole, essentially the only way you can beat somebody like that is if you do taijutsu. And because the karma seal gives you an insane boost in power, because that happens, all of a sudden you have to be extremely powerful to take down a karma user. Now this gives you an opportunity where if you have a high chakra pool and you have natural elements around you, now you can enhance that. If you're using, say, the scientific ninja tools and you combine that with existing stuff around you, if they use a scientific ninja tool that can augment your chakra levels in order to raise those up, now the playing field is level to where you can start combating somebody like a Kawaki, where you can combat somebody like Boruto. This gives a great way to raise the stakes. And what I also love about this is essentially it's going back to what Kodachi did when he wrote the Boruto movie novelization. He also co-wrote the movie with Masashi Kishimoto, but the novelization was all Kodachi. And what they did in the novelization is they wrote Momoshiki as being someone who is very reliant on essentially eating the chakra pills and gaining power, but not necessarily training to master that power. Now when you look at something like that, the reason why I say this kind of ties in with the karma seal is what Kodachi made it a point to do was to just highlight in the Boruto movie novelization that for the insane power that you get, that there's some type of a trade-off. In the sense of Momoshiki, it was because yes, he got this huge power, but he didn't have the skill in order to effectively wield it, which is why a fatigued Naruto and Sasuke absolutely demolished him. Now I know the anime's made some changes. Momoshiki's just as skilled as some of the best ones out there, but in the original concept of the character, that wasn't the case. He was supposed to be a parallel of Boruto using the scientific ninja tools to use jutsu that he either didn't know or jutsu that he hadn't really mastered. And so when you look at this karma seal, this trade-off is something that we need to see. Like, this also kind of harkens back to what happened when Naruto's tapping into the Kyuubi chakra and Naruto didn't have full mastery over it. Once it got to a certain point, Naruto, when he tapped into that chakra, Naruto was harming his own body, and also he became a danger to anyone who was around him. So I like the fact that now we're getting some real trade-off to his power, because one complaint that a lot of people have about this new generation is like, oh my god, they're too powerful, oh my god, they pick up skills way too quickly, they're acting just like Deku and My Hero Academia. Like, I like the fact that now you're getting real risk when it comes to using these different abilities that they have. Now I like the fact that you're you're getting a real trade-off. Now there's something more at stake here. Now there's an opportunity to raise the stakes by having a perfect counter. But I want to know from you guys, how do you feel about this weakness? And if this is the case, that this opens up the door for people to be able to combat Kawaki when Kawaki attacks the Hidden Leaf Village, how do you guys feel about that? But as always, guys, if you like anything I had to say, don't forget to comment, rate, subscribe, and share. Thank you so much for watching only to the end. Have an awesome day, guys.